But then, the details matched too closely. Same age. Same habits. Same late nights. My hands started shaking as I read. This isn't funny, I whispered. But there was no one there to hear me. After that, I couldn't stop thinking about it. Every time I opened the site, I felt like something was waiting, watching. Then came story 70. That one mentioned my city, by name. I dropped my phone. This is impossible, I said out loud. But deep down, I knew something was wrong. Very wrong. Still, I didn't stop. Because I needed answers. I needed to know what was happening. So I kept reading. All the way to story 98. By then, I barely slept. I barely ate. I just read. And read. And read. Then finally, I reached story 99. The last one. Or at least, what I thought was the last one. My hands trembled as I clicked it. The page loaded slowly this time. For the first time. Like it was thinking. Then the story appeared. It was short. Too short. It said, if you made it this far, the next story will be yours. I felt cold all over. What does that mean? I whispered. There was no story 100. The list ended at 99. So I closed the website. I told myself I was done. That I wouldn't go back. And for a whole day, I didn't. I tried to act normal. Tried to forget everything. But that night, I couldn't sleep again. Something felt wrong. Like I was being watched. So I opened my laptop. Just to check. Just to make sure. And that's when I saw it. The list had changed. There was a new story. At the bottom. Story 100. With my name on it. And now, you already know what happened next. The knocking. The door. The thing that looked like me. But there's something I didn't tell you. Something worse. When the screen went black. It didn't stay black. After a few seconds, it came back on. And the story had updated again. One final line. I didn't understand it at first. But now I do. It said, he is not alone anymore. And right now, as I'm writing this, I can feel it. Standing behind me. Breathing slowly. Waiting. And I think, it's about to touch my shoulder. Chapter 2. I didn't move. I couldn't. Because I could feel it. Right behind me. Breathing. Slow. Cold. Like air from a freezer. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely hold onto the edge of my desk. Don't turn around, I whispered to myself. But the problem was, the story updated again. Right in front of me. New words appeared on the screen. He knows it's behind him. Tears filled my eyes. Stop, please stop. I begged. But the words kept coming. He wants to look. My body felt heavy. Like something was pulling me. Forcing me. My head started to turn. Slowly. I tried to stop. I really did. But I couldn't. And then, I saw it. Right behind me. Standing there. Smiling. It looked exactly like me. Same face. Same clothes. But its eyes. Empty. Like nothing was inside. Just darkness. And its smile. Too wide. Too stretched. Like it didn't belong on a human face. I fell out of my chair. Crash. The thing didn't move. It just stood there. Watching me. Then, it tilted its head. Just like I did when I was confused. And it spoke again. You read them all. My voice came out small. What are you? It didn't answer. The screen flickered again. More words. It is learning. I looked back at the computer. It's learning from me. My heart started racing even faster. The thing took one step forward. Then stopped. Like it was waiting. Testing something. I scrambled backward across the floor. No, stay back. The story updated again. He is afraid to be replaced. That word hit me hard. Replaced. What does that mean? I shouted. The thing smiled wider. Then suddenly, It copied my voice perfectly. I don't want to be replaced. My blood ran cold. It wasn't just copying how I looked. It was copying how I sounded. What I said. What I felt. The screen flickered again. It becomes him. I shook my head. No, that's not happening. I stood up quickly and ran for the door. I yanked it open and rushed into the hallway. My house was dark. Quiet. Too quiet. Mom. I called out. No answer. Dad. Nothing. I ran downstairs. Every step echoing loudly. Hello. Still nothing. The house felt empty. Like no one had ever been there. I grabbed my phone from my pocket. No signal. No messages. Nothing. Then. The lights flickered. On. Off. On. Off. I froze in the middle of the living room. Please, just stop. I whispered. Then I heard it. From upstairs. My voice. Ethan. I slowly looked up. My bedroom door creaked open. Creak. And footsteps followed. Step. 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 Coming down the stairs. I backed away. No. Then I saw it again. At the top of the stairs. Me. Or at least. Something pretending to be me. It walked down slowly. Matching my movements perfectly. Like a mirror. But delayed. Wrong. You shouldn't have read story 100, it said. I grabbed a chair. Held it in front of me. Stay away from me. It stopped halfway down the stairs. Then it smiled. And suddenly, it ran. Fast. Too fast. I threw the chair. Crash. It hit the wall. But the thing was already gone. Gone from the stairs. Gone from sight. Where did it go? I shouted. Silence. Then. A whisper. Right next to my ear. I'm here. I screamed and spun around. Nothing there. But I could feel it. Close. Too close. The screen upstairs flickered again. I could hear it from here. Typing sounds. Click, click, click. Like someone was writing. Writing more of the story. I slowly backed toward the stairs. No. I'm not going back up there. But I knew I had to. Because whatever was happening, it was connected to that computer. To that story. Step by step. I went back upstairs. Every step felt heavier. Like I was walking into something I couldn't escape. My bedroom door was wide open. The screen glowed bright blue. I stepped inside slowly. The chair was still on the floor. But the thing was gone. At least, I thought it was. I looked at the screen. New words filled the page. He tries to escape. My chest tightened. He thinks leaving will save him. I whispered, it will, it has to. Then more words appeared. But it doesn't work like that. I felt panic rising again. Then how does it work? The screen froze for a second. Then slowly. I wasn't supposed to read the last story. But I did. And now. I know how I'm going to die. The screen in front of me flickered. Story number 100. The final one. The one that wasn't there before. My hands were shaking as I scrolled. Because I already knew something was wrong. There were only supposed to be 99 stories. I counted them myself. Over and over. 99. That's all the website had. That's all it ever had. Until tonight. Now there were 100. And the last one had my name on it. Story number 100, Ethan Cole. I felt my chest tighten. No, that's not funny. I whispered to myself. My room was quiet. Too quiet. The only light came from my computer screen. A cold blue glow. I slowly moved the mouse. Clicked on the story. It opened instantly. No loading. No delay. Like it was waiting for me. The first line appeared. My name is Ethan Cole. I froze. That's me. My voice came out small. Weak. I kept reading. I started reading these stories for fun. I didn't think they were real. My breathing got faster. That's exactly what I said. The words on the screen continued. They all seemed creepy, but fake. Until I reached the last one. My heart was pounding now. I wanted to stop reading. I really did. But I couldn't. It felt like something was forcing me to keep going. Like my eyes wouldn't look away. By the time you finish this story, it will already be too late. My hand slipped off the mouse. What does that mean? Then, I heard it. A soft sound. Knock. I froze. The sound came from my bedroom door. Knock, knock. Slow. Quiet. Exactly like the stories I had been reading. My heart dropped. No. I whispered. It's not real. Knock, knock, knock. Louder this time. More clear. I slowly turned my head toward the door. It was closed. But something felt wrong. Very wrong. Then, my computer screen changed. The story updated. Right in front of me. New words appeared. He hears the knocking now. I jumped back from the desk. What is happening? My voice shook. The knocking came again. Knock, knock. The story updated again. He is scared. I stared at the screen. They're writing what I'm doing. I stepped back slowly. My legs felt weak. The room suddenly felt colder. Like the air had changed. Then, a whisper came from the door. Ethan. I stopped breathing. That voice. It sounded like me. Exactly like me. No. I shook my head. That's not possible. The handle of the door slowly moved. Click. I stumbled backward. The story updated again. The door is opening. I didn't want to look. But I did. Slowly. The door creaked open. Creak. Darkness filled the hallway outside. And then, I saw something standing there. A figure. It looked like me. Same height. Same face. But its eyes. They were empty. And its smile. Too wide. Too wrong. I couldn't move. I couldn't scream. The story updated again. He sees himself. Tears filled my eyes. This isn't real. This isn't real. The thing stepped into my room. Slow. Quiet. Watching me. Then it spoke. You shouldn't have read the last story. My mind felt like it was breaking. The screen flickered again. More words appeared. This is how it ends. I shook my head. No, no, please. The thing took another step closer. I backed into my desk. My computer screen glowed brighter. Almost blinding. Then suddenly, everything went black. And I don't remember what happened next. But I'm still here. For now. And if you're reading this, then you need to understand something. That wasn't the end. That was just the beginning. Because to understand how I got here, you have to go back to the first story. The first time I ever opened that website. My name is Ethan Cole. And this all started 3 weeks ago. It was late at night. I couldn't sleep. So I grabbed my phone and started scrolling. Videos. Games. Nothing interesting. Then I found a link. 100 ghost stories that will keep you awake. I almost ignored it. But something about it caught my attention. So I clicked. The website was simple. Black background. White text. A list of stories. Numbered from 1 to 99. I remember thinking, why 99? That felt weird. But I didn't think much of it. I clicked the first story. It was short. Creepy. About a man who heard footsteps in his house at night. It ended suddenly. No explanation. Just fear. I felt a chill. But I kept going. Story after story. Each one different. Each one stranger. Some were about shadows. Some about voices. Some about things that watched you from the dark. But they all had one thing in common. They felt real. Too real. Like they actually happened. After a while, I started noticing something. Some stories changed. Small details. Words moving. Sentences appearing. At first, I thought I was imagining it. But then it happened again. And again. One story even mentioned the time on my phone. That's when I got nervous. But I didn't stop. I should have stopped. But I didn't. Because I wanted to see the end. I wanted to reach story 99. So I kept reading. Day after day. Night after night. The stories got darker. More personal. Like they were getting closer to me. Watching me. Learning about me. One night, Jake called me. "Dude, you've been acting weird," he said. "What's going on?" I laughed it off. "Just tired, man." But that wasn't true. I wasn't just tired. I was scared. But I couldn't explain why. Because it didn't make sense. How do you tell someone? A website is watching me. They'd think I was crazy. So I kept it to myself. Then I reached story 50. That's when things changed. Story 50 was about a boy. A boy who read stories online. Just like me. At first, I thought it was a coincidence. New words appeared. One story each night. I stared at it. What? Another line appeared. When the final story ends, so does he. My hands started shaking again. No, I'm not doing that. Then the last line appeared. You already started. The screen went black again. This time longer. Then suddenly, a new page opened. Story number 101. My heart dropped. There's more. The title read, The Night He Tried to Run. My breathing got heavy. That's tonight. And then I heard it again. Knock. But not from the door. From inside the room. Knock, knock. I looked around, trying to find where it was coming from. Then I realized. It was coming from inside the closet. Slow. Careful. Like something was trapped inside. Waiting. I backed away slowly. No. I'm not opening that. The knocking continued. Knock, knock, knock. Then. A voice. Soft. Familiar. Ethan, help me. I froze. That voice. It sounded like Jake. My best friend. What? The voice came again. We're stuck. We. My heart started racing again. They're using voices now. I whispered. The closet door handle moved slightly. Click. I shook my head. No, that's not real. But then. Bang. The closet door shook violently. Let us out. Multiple voices this time. All mixed together. Some sounded like people I knew. Some didn't. I covered my ears. Stop. But it didn't stop. The banging got louder. Stronger. The door started to crack. Crack. I backed into the wall. Tears running down my face. This can't be happening. Then suddenly, everything stopped. Silence. Complete silence. I slowly lowered my hands. My breathing shaky. The closet door stood still. No movement. No sound. I took a step forward. Then another. Maybe, it's over. I reached out slowly. My hand trembling. I touched the closet door. Cold. Very cold. I hesitated. Then slowly. I pulled it open. Creak. The darkness inside didn't look normal. It looked deeper. Like it went on forever. And then. Something inside moved. A shape. Stepping forward. And this time. It wasn't just one. There were many. All looking exactly like me. And they all smiled at once. Before reaching out toward me. Chapter 3. I couldn't breathe. They were all me. Standing inside the closet. Smiling. Waiting. One stepped forward. Then another. Then all of them started moving at the same time. Reaching out. Their hands stretching toward me. No, stay back. I screamed. I slammed the closet door shut. Bang. I stumbled backward, falling onto the floor. My heart was beating so fast it hurt. This isn't real, this isn't real. But deep down, I knew it was. The screen flickered again. I slowly turned my head. New words were already there. He opened the door. My chest tightened. No, I shouldn't have done that. More words appeared. They are almost ready. What does that mean? I shouted. The lights in my room started flickering again. On, off, on, off. The closet door began to shake. Soft at first. Then harder. Bang, bang, bang. I crawled backward toward my desk. What do you want from me? The screen answered. It needs a place. I froze. A place. Another line appeared. A body. My mind went blank. No, no, no. The closet door burst open. Bang. The copies rushed out. Fast. Too fast. I tried to stand, but one of them grabbed my arm. Cold. Ice cold. I screamed and pulled away. Another one grabbed my shoulder. Then another. There were too many. All of them looked exactly like me. All of them smiling. You can't run, they said together. Their voices echoed. Loud. Wrong. Like they were coming from everywhere. I kicked one away. Ran for the door again. I didn't stop this time. I ran out of my room. Down the stairs. Through the house. I didn't care where I was going. I just needed to get out. I threw the front door open and ran outside. The night air hit me hard. Cold. Empty. The street was silent. No cars. No lights in any houses. No people. Help! I shouted. My voice echoed. But no one answered. I turned back toward my house. And my heart stopped. Something was standing in the doorway. Not one. Not many. Just one. The original one. The first one I saw. The one that looked exactly like me. It stepped outside slowly. You're running out of time, it said. I backed away. What are you doing to me? It tilted its head. I'm finishing the story. The screen. I needed the screen. I needed to stop it. I ran back inside. Past it. It didn't try to stop me. That made it worse. Like it knew I couldn't escape. I rushed upstairs again. Back into my room. The screen was glowing brighter than ever. Story number 101 was still there. But now, there was more. Story number 102. My heart dropped. No, it's still going. I rushed to the keyboard. Started typing. Stop. Nothing happened. I hit enter. Again. Again. Nothing. The screen updated. He tries to stop it. Tears blurred my vision. Please. I'll do anything. Another line appeared. There is only one way. I leaned closer. What way? The words appeared slowly. Finish the story yourself. I froze. What? The room went quiet. Too quiet. Then, I felt it again. Behind me. Breathing. Closer than before. I didn't turn around this time. I already knew what I would see. My voice came from behind me. Soft. Calm. Write the ending. My hands shook over the keyboard. If I do, will it stop? Silence. Then the screen answered. Yes. I didn't trust it. But I didn't have a choice. The footsteps behind me got closer. Step. 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 I could feel it right behind me now. Almost touching me. Do it, it whispered. I started typing. Slowly. Each word harder than the last. My name is Ethan Cole. The screen accepted it. The words stayed. It ends tonight. My fingers trembled. I refused to be replaced. The air in the room changed. The thing behind me stopped moving. I kept typing. This story ends with me. The screen flickered violently. The lights went out. Darkness filled the room. But I kept typing. Because I could still see the screen. Bright. Blue. Waiting. I'm still here. A loud scream filled the room. Not mine. Not human. I typed the final line. And nothing takes my place. I hit enter. Everything went silent. The lights came back on. The room looked normal again. The closet was closed. The door was shut. I was alone. I slowly turned around. Nothing there. I checked the hallway. Empty. The house felt normal again. I ran back to the computer. The stories were gone. All of them. The website was empty. Just a blank page. I fell back into my chair, breathing hard. It's over. I whispered. For a long time. Nothing happened. No knocking. No voices. No shadows. Just silence. I thought I won. I really did. But then, the screen flickered one last time. A single line appeared. Just one. Simple. Cold. You finished your story. My stomach dropped. Then the final words appeared. Now someone else will read it. The screen went black. And somewhere, far away, I heard it again. Knock. Knock.